I am Dr. Preeti Verma. The subject that I will be discussing is analog circuits, and in this video I will be discussing the topic BJT biasing. That is the topic from the unit 1 of analog circuits KEC 402. So, in the previous semester of KEC 301, that is electronic devices, you must have studied about the working of bipolar junction transistors and its characteristics. So, taking base of that, we will move on to the further analysis of BJT circuits, that is BJT biasing. So, first what is a bipolar junction transistor? As we all know, it is a transistor circuit, that transistor, that is a device that conduct due to the conduction of both type of charge carriers. So, for that reason it is called the bipolar junction transistors. Here in the diagram we can see two type of bipolar junction transistors, that is NPN and PNP. NPN, in which we have two N layers and in between we have P layer, and in PNP device we have two P layers and in between we have an N layer. So, here we have P as base and here we have N as base. This is the symbolic representation of NPN and PNP transistor with the three terminal. B is for the base, C for the collector and E for the emitter terminal of the bipolar junction transistor. So, here we can see in NPN transistors there is arrow of the emitter that is pointing outwards, and for the PNP it is pointing inwards. From by observing the direction of the arrow we can identify that which one is NPN transistor and which one is PNP transistor, and we all know that how we identify or how we do the notation of outward or inward arrows with the correlating it with the flow of the current. So, this is the physical structure of NPN transistor. We have two N layers and in between we have a P layer that I told you, and for PNP we have two layers that will act as collector and another P layer that will act as emitter, and in between we have a sandwich layer, that is the base layer for this bipolar junction transistor. So, the operation, for the operation we have as it is a 3-terminal device, and if I am taking a PNP transistor, or we can take an NPN transistor as well. So, for an PNP and NPN transistor we have 3 terminals, emitter, base and collector. Similarly, here we have emitter, base and collector. So, to have the device to operate in normal operating or in forward biasing, the emitter base junction should be forward biased and the collector base junction should be reverse biased for the device to operate in forward biasing. So, emitter base junction is forward bias. So, the depletion region at the emitter base junction will be thinner as compared to the depletion region at the collector base junction. So, these all are the basics of bipolar junction transistor that you all must have studied in electronic devices. This is the symbolic representation for the current. From the collector terminal we have current IC, in the emitter we have the flow of current that is named as IE, and from the base we have the current IB. This is for NPN transistor. All the three currents will be here in PNP with the opposite direction of flow of current, because in the PNP transistor the P sides or the P bars of the PNP will have holes as the majority carriers. So, both will have the three currents IC, IB and IE and having the opposite direction of current due to the polarity of the charge carriers that are contributing to the flow of current. So, this equation IE is equal to IC plus IB holds for both the configuration NPN and PNP. some more useful results that you all must have studied in the previous subject that we need here are IC related to IE and ICBO. Alpha we know is the amplification factor, IC minus ICBO upon IE. We have three amplification factor, alpha, beta and gamma. Alpha you must have studied for common emitter configuration, beta is for common base configuration and gamma is for common collector configuration. That is the ratio of output current to the input current, IC upon IE for the common emitter configuration. So, we have this relation IC is equal to beta IC into IB plus ICEO. So, beta as I told you that is for common base configuration. Similarly, we have gamma for the common collector configurations. So, value of alpha is around 0.99. We have some more relations, IC is equal to beta IB. These all relationships that I am showing that we need to study for the BJT biasing. So, we all should be very clear with the basics of bipolar junction transistor before starting the BJT biasing circuits. So, first why we need the biasing of bipolar junction transistor and what is the biasing? Biasing refers to the application of DC voltage to set up the operating point in such a way that output signal is undistorted throughout the whole operation. Also, when we fix the operating point, then that operating point should not shift due to the change in IC. Beta variation due to the replacement of transistor of the same type, because when we choose the same type of transistor also, then even then we have some variation in the beta value and the temperature variations. So, we want to fix the operating point of the device so that it does not shift due to the change in the device, change in the temperature and change in IC. So, change in IC that is dependent upon the beta and temperature. So, we want to fix the Q so that the change in IC is not there due to the variation in beta and temperature. So, the process of making the operating point independent of temperature changes or the variation in the transistor parameter is known as stabilization. So, stabilization is the process in which we try to stabilize the value of current IC that is dependent upon the beta and the temperature. So, stabilization of operating point is necessary due to the temperature dependence of IC, individual variations and thermal runaway. Stabilization, we will see that how the current IC is dependent upon the beta and the temperature. IC equation we know is beta IB plus beta plus 1 ICBO. ICBO is the current that is a strong function of the temperature that increases with the rise of 10 degree of temperature, the value of ICBO doubles. So, as this value of ICBO is increasing, so it will ultimately increase this current IC. Due to the more current flowing through the circuit, there will be more heat dissipation. So, that more heat dissipation will further increases the temperature. So, when the temperature increases due to the increase in ICBO and IC, then that increase in temperature again increases the value of ICBO, and as ICBO increases, again IC increases. So, it becomes a cyclic process. So, this effect is cumulative and in few seconds the IC may become large enough to burn out the transistor. So, the self-destruction of an unstabilized transistor is known as thermal runaway. Then we need to find the stability factor for the biasing circuit, that we will see later with the each and every biasing circuit, that how we can find the stability factor. What is the stability factor? The rate of change of the collector current with respect to the collector leakage current, ICBO, is called the stability factor, and we denote it by S, and that S is equal to DIC by DICBO, and the lower value of S, the better is the stability of the transistor. That is very important, that we want the lower value of the stability factor. The rate of change of collector current IC with respect to the collector leakage current ICBO at constant beta and IC is called the stability factor, that we have discussed is denoted by S. So, this is the current equation, IC is equal to beta IB plus beta plus 1 ICBO. When we differentiate this equation, we are differentiating with respect to IC. So, here at this side we get 1 beta del IB by del IC plus beta plus 1 DICBO by DIC. So, beta DIB upon DIC is equal to beta plus 1 by S, that we have replaced with the previous definition of the stability factor. So, we get S stability factor as beta plus 1 upon 1 minus beta DIB by DIC. So, for the different biasing configuration, we will calculate this value of DIB by DIC, and we can find the stability factor with the dependence of beta and IC for the different biasing circuits. These important basic relationship that we will need for the study of the BJT biasing, that I told you also earlier, I is equal to IC plus IB, beta is equal to IC upon IB, or we can write IC is equal to beta IB. IE is beta plus 1 IB, or we can write it as IC, VCB is VCE minus VBE. Operating point. So, what is operating point? That is the fixed point at which if we bias the circuit, so that operating point the circuit will be much more stabilized as compared to the biasing circuit at any other point. So, for the BJT analysis, we can have a DC analysis and AC analysis. For AC analysis, we calculate gain of the amplifier. So, right now we will study about the DC analysis, in which we find the DC quiescent point or solving the input and output loops, or we can do it by the graphical method also. So, first we should know what are the different biasing configuration for any bipolar junction transistor circuit. So, first we have base bias or the fixed current bias, and it is not very popularly used, it is having many drawbacks. The second one is base bias with the emitter feedback. In the same circuit we put a feedback loop. Then third one is base bias with the collector feedback. Then we have collector and emitter feedback, that is the combination of 2 and 3. Then we have fifth one, emitter base with 2 supplies and voltage divider bias. So, one by one we will discuss all these biasing configurations for bipolar junction transistor. The first one, that is the fixed bias circuit. So, that is the configuration to bias a bipolar junction transistor into a fixed biasing configuration. This is a bipolar junction transistor NPN. Here we have base, collector and emitter. So, to have the biasing and the fixed bias configuration, what we do, we place a base resistance, collector resistance, and in the emitter loop we do not have any resistance. The capacitor C1 and C2 are the capacitor at the input and the output side. Later on we will see the working of these two capacitance C1 and C2, why these capacitors are placed here. So, RB is the base resistance, RC is the collector resistance and VCC is the supply provided to this fixed bias circuit. AC input signal is given here and we are taking AC output at this terminal. So, what will be the steps to do the analysis for any biasing circuit? As here we can see it is common emitter configuration. The first step we have to locate the capacitors and replace them with an open circuit. Why we are replacing it with an open circuit? Because we are going to do the DC analysis and we know that XC is 1 upon 2 pi FC, and for the DC F is that we get the value of XC as infinite. So, we make it open circuit. The second step will be locate the two main loops. What are the two main loops here? Base emitter loop and the collector emitter loop, that is one is the input loop and one is the output loop. The same procedure we will follow for all the biasing configurations. So, base emitter loop, this is the base terminal, this is emitter. So, one is input loop that we will have like this will be the base emitter loop, and the collector emitter, that is the output loop, that will start from this collector and move towards the emitter. So, in that way we will have the two loops starting from the VCC towards the ground. One is the input loop, that is base emitter, and one is the output loop, that is collector emitter. So, as we are having two paths, so we can write two KVL equations from these two paths and we can simplify to get the different values of voltages, currents and stability factor. Moving to the first step, locate the capacitor and replace them with an open circuit. So, here we were having two capacitors. So, that capacitors has been replaced by the open circuit. So, we get this picture. RB is there, this has been replaced by open circuit. So, this will be not connected to the circuit, and similarly here the capacitor is made open circuit. Now, we have two loops. This is the base emitter loop from the input side and this is the collector emitter loop from the output side. So, we will write the equation for both the loops separately. First is base emitter loop. So, for the base emitter loop analysis, here collector is not shown because we are studying for the base emitter loop. So, do not get confused, the collector circuit is there. Here we have not drawn it because here I am considering only the base emitter loop. So, starting from the VCC, I will move through VBE towards the ground. So, minus VCC plus IBRB plus VB is equal to 0, or we can write this equation as VCC minus IBRB, moving from plus to minus, minus VBE is equal to 0. So, both are same with the different notations. So, we can write from here the same equation, IB is equal to VCC minus VBE upon RB. So, from the input loop, that is base emitter loop, we have got this expression for IB for the fixed bias configuration. Coming to the next, that is collector emitter loop. So, here In the similar manner, base emitter loop is there, but I have not considered it for the analysis because right now we are concentrating upon the output loop, that is collector emitter loop. So, that is the part that is shown here is the collector emitter loop. In the similar way, we will write the KVL equation from collector towards the emitter. So, minus VCC plus ICRC plus VCE, or you can write VCC minus ICRC minus VCE is equal to 0. So, this is the same equation with the change in signs. So, simplifying it, we get VCE as VCC minus ICRC. This we have seen earlier that IC is equal to beta IB, and IB we have calculated as VCC minus VBE upon RB. So, putting the same here, we can write IC as beta, this beta is written as beta DC, and at the place of IB it is written VCC minus VBE upon RB. So, this is the value of current for the fixed bias configuration. So, the next point is how the Q point is affected by the change in VBE and ICBO in the fixed bias configuration. IB we have this and IC is this. So, here we can see it is dependent upon VBE and IC is related to the IB, and we know that IC that is dependent upon the temperature and it is also dependent upon the ICBO. So, as ICBO will vary, IC will vary, and with the change in VBE the current IB varies. So, both are related. So, we will see the stability factor to find the stability of the circuit. Load line analysis. Load line, we know that how we can find the load line by equating the equations of base emitter and collector emitter loop to 0. So, we get 2 points here and here, and we find a operating point that is called the Q point, and drawing it on the DC load line, we can find the fixed point for the biasing of the circuit. So, this is our equation that we have written for the output loop. VCE is equal to VCC minus ICRC. So, finding the value of IC for VC is equal to 0, we get VCC by RC, that is the intersection of y axis, and by equating VCE at IC is equal to 0, because on this axis the IC value is 0. So, we get this value as VCC, and adding these 2 points we get a point with the 2 values on the x and y coordinates, that is the Q point. The circuit values that affect the Q point are the VCC value. Here we can see VCC 3, 2 and 1. VCC 1 is the highest one. So, as the VCC value is decreasing, the Q point is shifting towards the axis, or we can say it is becoming less stable. Similarly, with the variation in IB, as the IB is increasing or decreasing, we can see the movement of or shifting of the Q point. With increasing value of IB, it is shifting upwards, and with the decreasing, it is shifting downwards towards the on the characteristics. Similarly, with the variation is resistance, it is varying from top to down with the variation of the resistance. So, we can say that it is dependent upon the VCC resistance and the current values of the system. Then stability factor for this fixed bias configuration. This is the formula that we have seen earlier for the stability factor, that is beta plus 1 upon 1 minus beta dIB by dIC. So in fixed bias configuration, IB is independent of IC, because IB equation we have seen VCC minus VBE upon RB. So that is independent of IB. So this DIB by DIC will be 0. So putting here 0 for the fixed bias configuration, we get beta plus 1 upon 1. So stability factor for the fixed bias configuration is beta plus 1. So the stability factor in the fixed bias is beta plus 1 value. Beta is having the larger value. So we can see the stability factor of fixed bias configuration is having larger values. Advantages of fixed bias configuration: that operating point can be shifted easily anywhere in the active region by merely changing the base resistor RB. A very small number of components are required. And disadvantage: poor stabilization and high stability factor, because the stability factor that we have calculated is beta plus 1, because IB is constant. So this DIB by DIC is 0. So as we have seen, we have discussed that the lower value of stability factor is required, and it is having a very larger value of stability factor. So the fixed bias circuit is very much prone to the thermal runaway. Application uses of fixed bias are: due to the above inherent drawbacks, fixed bias is rarely used in linear circuits. Linear circuits, those circuits which use a transistor as a current source. Instead, it is often used in the circuit where transistor is used as a switch. So we do not use it for the linear applications of the circuit. This is one numerical problem based upon the fixed bias configuration. So the circuit that is given here is a circuit for fixed bias configuration, where the value of RB is 240 kilo ohms, RC is 2.2 kilo ohm, and the capacitor C2 is 10 microfarad and C1 is 10 microfarad. That will not be of our concern because we are going for the DC values. So this will be open circuited. Beta is given as 50 and VCC is given as 12 volts. So it is asked to determine the value of IBQ, ICQ, Q means that is the quotient values, VCEQ, the value of VB, base voltage, VC, collector terminal voltage. This is VC, this will be VB, and VBC. So by writing different KVL equations, we can easily calculate it. IBQ that we have calculated earlier by writing the KVL equation into the input loop, VCC minus IBRB minus VBE. We get IB as VCC minus VBE upon RB. So these values are given. VCC is 12 volts, VBE for silicon is 0.7 volts, that you must remember. RB value, base resistance, is given as 240 kilo ohm. So that is placed here, and if we calculate it, we get the value of current IB as 47.08 microamperes. This is very well known expression, IC is equal to beta IB. IB we have calculated, beta is given in question, beta is 50, that is given. IB we have calculated 47.08. So putting this value, we get ICQ as 2.35 milliamperes. VCEQ that we have got by writing the KVL into the output loop, that KVL is VCC minus ICRC minus VCE is equal to 0. From here we get the value of VCE as VCC minus ICRC. So, putting the values, VCC is known, given in question, IC we have calculated, RC is given. So, putting all the value, we get this value as 6.83 volts, the value of VCEQ. VB is VBE we can write as VB minus VE. So, from here we can write VB as VBE minus VE. Here the emitter terminal is connected to ground. So, this VE here is 0. So, VB will be equal to VBE. So, that is 0.7. Similarly, VCE, that we can write VCE as VC minus VE. Here also VE is 0. So, VCE is equal to VC, that we have calculated 6.83. So, VBC, that is asked to calculate in part D, that is VB minus VC. So, VB we have calculated 0.7, VC is 6.83. So, we get minus 6.13 volts. So, with the negative sign revealing that the junction is reverse biased. The next biasing configuration is emitter stabilized bias circuit. As I have discussed that fixed bias is having very high value of stability factor. So, we cannot use it for the linear applications of the circuit. So, to improve the fixed bias circuit, we have another configuration, and we can say that it is the improvement of the fixed bias by placing this resistance RE into the emitter loop. So, by placing this resistance RE, that is named here as emitter stabilized bias, because we are trying to improve the stabilization of the circuit by placing this emitter resistance RE. So, it is named as emitter stabilized bias circuit that have an improved stability factor as compared to the fixed bias circuit. So, in the detailed analysis, I will discuss this in next video. Thank you.